Hi guys, today is the first day of summer in the Southern Hemisphere. It's the 1st of December 2020. And in the last couple of weeks, we've seen this story emerge from southeast Utah of this structure that's been spotted from the sky. It intrigued me a little in the beginning, but there wasn't enough information for me to do anything with it. So I left it for a few days until those internet sleuths have found out where exactly it was, and I came back to it, and it was amazing the type of information, the little connections that I got. I still wasn't sure for another few days because I usually don't really do videos with this type of information because I like to have some sort of message eventually in my videos of what I'm finding. It took some time for information to gel together, and here it is 2 weeks later from when this was first found, before I started to at least get an idea of a message in it. So let's just take a little look at this and see what we can find. Now, the discovery of this was on the 18th of November 2020, and state biologists of the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources were in the southeast Utah carrying out a survey of bighorn sheep. That intrigued me straight away because the Bible is full of sheep, and indeed we are known as sheep in the Bible. The date was the first thing I looked at. If you take from the first day of January 2020 and you add 322 days, you come to November the 18th. Now, where have I seen 322 before? Here it is on the Skull and Bones logo. That's the secret society or fraternity of the Yale University, and over the years, over the decades, there's been some very famous people come through Skull and Bones. So let's get back to our monolith. Now, with some coordinates to work from after a few days, I decided to go and take a bit of a look, and there was information out at the time, early times, that maybe this monolith had been there since the 1940s, but that didn't take very long to prove incorrect. Here is a photo, or two adjacent photos, and this one's from August 2015 and October 2016 on the right. There is no structure here in 2015, and it appears in 2016. So straight away we've got it within about 14 or 15 months. So a little bit more of a search, and I found that a post by Maxar Satellite Company official on LinkedIn noted that their Worldview 3 image dated 3rd of April 2016 did not show the monolith, which narrows the installation down between April the 3rd, 2016 and October 20th, 2016. So that's about 6 months immediately preceding the 2016 presidential election, which happened on November the 8th. So let's take a look at some of the details of this structure. The metal structure is 9.5 feet tall above the bedrock, and one of the sides is 23 inches. So another way to say 9.5 feet is 9 feet 6 inches. It's a triangular prism with 23 inches on the sides. So we add 23 plus 23 plus 23, we end up with 69. A 9 and a 6 above the ground, and a 9 and a 6, or a 6 and a 9 around its circumference. Where have I seen those numbers before? Right here. This is called the Royal Arch of Freemasonry, and here it is right on the top, and in the red circle you see it's the keystone, a 6 and a 9 of the Royal Arch of Freemasonry. So what's a keystone? A central stone at the summit of an arch locking the whole together. So you can see it leans in from both sides, and that's the keystone. Once it's in, it holds the whole structure up. So what other arches are there around? This one is in front of Capitol Hill, and this one's been doing the rounds of capitals around the world. This is called the Arch of Palmyra, or the Arch of Baal. And in the old days, this arch, people would pass through it. This is actually a replica, this one, because ISIS destroyed the other one a few years back. But this replica has been doing the rounds of the world at various spots. This one, you can see, is in Luxembourg with a lot of dignitaries before it. And this arch can be also known as a triumphal arch. So here is a various few arches here, like the Arc of Triomphe in Paris. This one here is a triumphal arch. And you can see this Arch of Baal is also called a triumphal arch. In the days of the Old Testament, they would pass through this arch to get to the temple of Baal, where they would have sacrifices of children, orgies, and so on. So it seems a little strange that they're doing such a world tour with this arch, and everybody seems to be waxing lyrical and want to be photographed in front of it. So what does triumphal mean? Because these are triumphal arches. Triumphal, made or carried out or used in celebration of a great victory or achievement. So here is an arch, and this is the Arch of Titus, right in front of the Colosseum in Rome. And this is a triumphal arch. The Arch of Titus was constructed after Titus successfully conquered Jerusalem in the siege of Jerusalem in the year 70 CE. It was the decisive event of the First Jewish-Roman War, in which the Roman army captured the city of Jerusalem and destroyed both the city and its temple, and the Roman army led by the future Emperor Titus. So Titus had this made in his honor, and it raised him up to God status. It deified him for his successful siege of Jerusalem. So it's a triumphal arch. Are there any other triumphal arches that we know about? This one is Washington Square Arch, while the Twin Towers are up. And this is one of Jonathan Kleck's notes that he's folded to show an arch with the Twin Towers coming down in the middle of it. There is another triumphal arch. So Washington Square Arch is actually said it is a marble Roman triumphal arch. All roads lead back to Rome. On Washington Square Arch, Exodus Acta Probat is written just above Washington's head here. Isn't it amazing that one of the first times this was ever coined, this phrase, Exodus Acta Probat, was in the time of Jesus by a fellow called Ovid. The outcome justifies the deed. What does Ovid mean? Ovid is usually given to a boy, and its name means sheep in Latin. So here we are back to sheep again. We started this video looking for sheep and finding a structure. And step by step, we've come here to Ovid. Now, if we put a C in front of that, we have C Ovid, and that's what we've got in the way of a pandemic at the moment. Exodus Acta Probat. You can't make this stuff up, guys. Is there any sheep in the Bible that we should be looking at here? Well, Jesus said, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." And by inference here, we can see that there are sheep on this earth that do not hear Jesus' voice and do not know Jesus. Are they the secret ones in the secret societies that we're talking about? Well, it was just so interesting that this is in southeast Utah, where they were looking for sheep, and it's led us through all of these arches. What was the name of the place where this was found? Arches National Park. Are you kidding? Now here we have the coordinates up the top here of Arches National Park in decimal form, and if anybody has been through my videos before, you'll have seen 333 and 666 on multiple occasions. That's just crazy. If that structure was put into this park just prior to the 2016 presidential election, and through a variety of steps, we've seen that it probably has something to do with a royal arch or a triumphal arch, and it is in the Arches National Park, then most likely they thought at the time, whoever has put this in there, that Hillary Clinton was going to be the president. But somebody else triumphed, and his name was Trump. And the etymology of Trump, believe it or not, is triumph. Are you kidding me? Is there any other arches that we should be looking at? Because this one for the Washington Square arch was a Roman triumphal arch. Is there anything else in Rome that we should be looking at with arches? Well, this is inside the Vatican, and here we have an arch with an artwork that Jonathan Kleck has shown us is a large dragon's head. And right where the snoot is here, we've got what looks like to be Lucifer coming through with a woman. And we've got this guy right here holding on to a human skin. So let's take a closer look, and we see the person here is likely to be Lucifer. The woman is dressed in blue. And this is the guy here that's holding the human skin, and he's holding something in his hand. It's a knife. He has flayed the skin off a human body and is holding it in his other hand. Guys, I guess the message of this video is that no matter what they do with these secret things, Jesus has it all in hand. He knows the end from the beginning. We need not fear. Just receive him, believe in him, and be comforted and be happy. Peace and grace.